Okay, whew, that was hard. So I got my big impact driver, and I just spun it out. I have to hold it with two hands because this thing is very torquey, so I couldn't hold the camera. So that's off. It was very torquey. You have to be careful with this thing. If you don't hold it steadily, if you don't hold it with one hand, it's kind of awkward, and you don't hold it steadily, it could snap your wrist and you could sprain your wrist or break your wrist. So anyways, remember my valve is open, so you see the water coming out. So the valve here is open, and the reason why I opened that was that I wanted to release the pressure, so I better close it up, otherwise the all the water from the tank's gonna dump out, which I don't need it to do. Okay, so it's closed back up. And the water's still clean. Looking at the water, it still looks clean to me. Still clear and clean. So there's no, there's no dirtiness to it. So that's a good thing. That's a very good sign. All right, so let's take out the anode. I might have to do this with two hands because I have to put the camera down. I don't have space to put the camera down on the top of the water heater. So yeah, I need to do this with two hands. So let me put the camera down real fast. Do this with two hands. So I'm gonna bring out. Normally I don't take the anode all the way out, but I am gonna do it on this instance, just so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay. Oof. Oh, actually, this is still the original anode. This is not a replacement. I actually got a replacement, but anyways, so there's the original anode right here. All right, so it's a little bit shorter, by about 6 inches. 39 to 44 is what? 39 to 44 for 5 inches. 5 inches shorter. So you can see how eaten up the the anode is. That's normal. That's how it normally is. You know what? This is not the original. I think this is a replacement. Because this tank is only a 4-year tank, and it's already 6 years old, and there's no no signs of leak of anything. So I think this is the replacement. That's why this thing looks so new. Normally, if it gets up to the time of the warranty period, this thing will pretty much be gone. It'd be a thin little nothing. So I think this is the replacement. I guess they might have replaced it with something similar in size. But anyways, so that's what it looks like. It starts to get eaten away. And you see the thickness difference between one versus the other. This one is like half, well, not half, maybe a little bit thicker than half the width of the original, or excuse me, of the new one. But that's normal. So all this white stuff here, I think that's the not really white. It's kind of whitish stuff that you see around here. It's actually kind of reddish, because the red is the color of the rust. But that's the mineral buildup. See, I just flaked the piece right there. That's the mineral buildup from the hard water. If you have hard water, that's what that is. Yeah, so that's basically checking out the anode. Again, you should when you buy a replacement one. And these things they're pretty cheap. They're only like something like this size is only like $15, so it's dirt cheap, versus a new water tank is $500 or something like that, right? For a cheaper water tank, it's like $500. For an expensive one, it could be well over $1,000, depending on how long your warranty period is. But just get a cheap one, $500, $400, and just replace the anode every 4 years. When it's time to when it's time for when its warranty period is due. So yeah, so I have written down what the length of the anode is up here, and I should also write down the date where I checked to, or the date that the new anode was installed or checked, just for record keeping. Okay, so I'm gonna call it good, and I'll put this back on and turn the water and everything back on, or shut off the valve right here and shut off the valve and turn everything back on. Actually, the valve's already off. But before I do that, the thread has to be you gotta reseal the thread here. So basically, you can either use Teflon tape or you use Teflon paste. That's what I prefer to use. I prefer to use Teflon paste. So there's the old stuff still here. What I do, I get a little wire brush and I actually brush this clean, brush it off, all the old stuff off. And I also go back to the female side in the tank and I try to brush that off as best I can as well. Then I will put on the Teflon paste. But you know, you don't have to use Teflon paste, you can use Teflon tape as well. Yeah, so that's it. So that's the hot water check. Every, you know, you should definitely do the flush. You know, it's a good idea to do it every year. You know, I think the owner's manual tells you to do it every 6 months, but I usually do it every year or so. So you do that, and probably check the anode every, like, I don't know, like every couple of years, I think. Well, depending on your warranty period. Around the end of the warranty period of the tank, definitely check the anode. And once you put a new one on, probably check it, like, you know, every 2 or 3 years. Because you know, because once this goes, your water tank will start to get eaten up, and you know, once that happens, man, it's like it's too late. Because you know, the water tank, the sheet metal in there is really thin, so there's not much there. It doesn't take much to eat through it, you know. You could leave it, the water tank, there for like say after 1 year without the anode, that water tank is gone. It might not even last 1 year. I don't think it will even last 1 year. It'll probably last only like maybe 6 months if there's no anode in it. Again, it has to do with how thin it is, and also because of the heat, because of especially where the bottom is, where the flame is, where the heat is. That spot will oxidize first, because heat accelerates chemical reaction, and that's what this is. This, you know, oxidation is a chemical reaction. So so the heat will accelerate that. So that's why if your anode's gone and you don't have that in there, I'll probably only give it like 6 months and your tank is gone. So you know, so don't be stingy about it. You know, this thing is only, like I said, this new one is only like $15, maybe $20 for shipping. I think I got mine off of Amazon. But anyways, it's, you know, it's dirt cheap. You know, it's totally worth it to spend a little bit of time to put on a new one, check it, instead of having to spend, you know, at least $500 on a water tank. This is a cheap water tank too. For, you know, a 4-year warranty water tank is a cheap one. It's the cheapest one they had at Home Depot. So that's why I picked this one up instead of something more expensive, because I know about the anode. I know that, oh, as long as I replace this, it'll go well beyond 4 years, and it'll go 8 years, 12 years, or whatever, for a very long time. So no reason to buy a more expensive tank unless you want a bigger tank. Obviously, then a bigger tank will be more expensive. But also, it's not just the price of the water tank. You know, if you have to hire a plumber to put in a tank, that's going to cost you easily $500 on top of the cost of the tank itself. You know, so you know, save the $20. You know, or spend the $20 to save yourself $1,000, at least minimum $1,000 for a new water tank. You know, to install a new water tank. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna button it up, do everything, all that stuff, and I'm probably not gonna show you that. I don't think you need to see that. Just remember to Teflon tape the threads, clean up the threads, Teflon tape it, and you put it back on. All right, thanks for watching.